I have a really stressful job or life that just isn't going to calm down. I just can't prioritize these things that I need to do. So, what should I do? Because my life is just busy.
hmm Okay, so one thing I'm going to say is I want to give you kudos for one, acknowledging that the stress is there and that work is just going to be busy and that's probably not going to change, right? Sometimes I think it's easy for us to give ourselves false hope that that's not the case or to push our feelings aside. And
Mhm.
so just even acknowledging that and having the self-awareness is a great place
So
to
true.
start.
Yeah.
Um, as far as what to do to manage all of that chaos and stress, to me, I think the most important thing, which at times can be the hardest thing to implement, is setting boundaries with work. And that can look very different for everyone, but some things you might consider is things like taking your work email off of your personal phone, right? That's something that we probably all struggle with. Um, things like not answering your phone when you're home or after a certain hour, taking your PTO and your vacation, taking your lunch breaks, maybe saying no to certain projects at work. And I know this is extremely challenging, especially if you work where the culture praises poor boundaries, where it's important for us to remember that the workplace benefits from our poor boundaries, which is going to make it harder for us
Mhm.
to set them.
Mhm.
Um, one kind of strategy that the athletes I work with use to um, help leave sport at sport and when they go home kind of leave that behind is kind of using the car as that transition phase. And this looks very different for different people, but this is one way to help us set those boundaries at work. So maybe they're using the car to with a specific playlist that they play on their way home, and they've now associated that playlist with, okay, I'm winding down from work or for my sport and I'm heading home. Other athletes I've worked with like to split the time in half. The first half of the ride, they're reflecting on their workday and what they've learned and what they want tomorrow to look like. And then the second half, thinking about, okay, when I get home, what do I want to do? Who do I want to connect with? How will I take care of myself? For other people, they just use the car ride just to be completely present on just driving in silence. And that helps them kind of wind down and transition. So you might even think about ways you might compartmentalize work, leaving work at work. Um, so boundaries are really important. Another thing I would have you consider or think about is being intentional about charging your battery. So if we think about our phone, uh, some of us maybe fall in this trap, but we don't want to wait for our phone to be completely dead before we charge it. When this happens, it takes our phone a lot longer to charge, and our phone is never available then when we need it the most. All of a sudden, we need our phone
Mhm.
immediately, and it's
Mhm.
dead. And so we want to be proactive and staying ahead of the game when it comes to charging ourselves, fueling ourselves. So think about you and think about what gives you energy, what fuels your soul. And again, this is going to look so different for everybody. For some people, it is reading a book. For some people, it is doing yoga or going for a walk. Others, it's connecting with friends or family. For some people, it's just sitting and having a cup of coffee in silence. So maybe start generating a list of what fuels you, thinking about including things that are long activities that might take up more time, but also be intentional about including the smaller, simple, less time commitment activities, and
Mm.
think about how you can sprinkle those activities throughout your day, in the morning, at work, and after work, right? Because we're constantly recharging. And if we're doing this, we're going to be better equipped to manage the stressors of work and tolerate that stress so it doesn't pull us back, doesn't get us down. And then the last thing I will suggest about how do we work through this is having an outlet. We have to have someone to talk about this stuff with, talk about our stress, talk about what's frustrating us at work, what the boss did to us that day. And I would highly recommend that that person is not someone at work, just so that that doesn't follow you into work and
Mm.
create more stress for yourself. So maybe it's a friend or family member or even your therapist.
Okay, thank you. I think that's such an important thing. And one thing that came to mind, you said about the car as the transition time. Like, would it be beneficial, you said about using potentially the first half to reflect? What if someone called someone during that time to share about that? Does that count, or should it always
Yeah.
be like personal?
Yeah, if that for you is what's helpful, is having like using your car ride to kind of vent and get it out of your system, that could be a great idea.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.